how's it going, everybody? What's up? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over some suggestions of my own and also some suggestions from my community over on Twitch for some things that we would like to see change in Tarkov or add to Tarkov, or like new features that we'd like to see in the hopefully near future. Now, as it is with these videos, it's very funny because a lot of the times when I've made these suggestion videos in the past, whether, you know, they actually watched the video or not, but a lot of the stuff actually ended up in the game, which is kind of cool. So maybe in a year's time, we can come back to this video and see if they actually added any of the stuff to the game. So let's get into the first suggestion, which is one from me. As somebody who streams the game, as somebody who dies a lot, the biggest portion of my stream is I sit in my stash trying to get a loadout together as quick as I can so I can go into my next raid and die again, so I can repeat the same process over and over. What I would love to see in EFT is just a one-click loadout creator that puts meds in like predetermined slots that you've selected, or stims and nades in predetermined slots that you've suggested. You can pick your rig, you can pick your armor, your helmet, your contacts, your night visions, your armband, your glasses. You can pick everything, maybe even like the ability to change your clothes if you have like multiple outfits, maybe ones you like to use for certain maps or ones you like to use for nighttime raids or something like that. I'd love to be able to save that kind of stuff, similar to the system they have in Hunt Showdown actually, that they added very recently, where you can just like press one button and boom, it gives you like your favorite loadout. Obviously, you know, you pay for it, obviously. I thought that would be really sweet, so I'm hoping that we get something like this in the near future, just to make the transition between dying and getting back into another raid a little bit more smooth. I think it would be a really nice little quality of life change for EFT. Next up, we've got personal trader stocks. Lads, I know I don't even have to mention this. The second I said this, you were like, oh, please, daddy, give me. Because we've all had it this wipe where we're going in to buy something from the traders. It's completely sold out. We've spent the time to level up and unlock all this cool gear, only to go and grab it, you know, a minute after the resets happened and everything is sold out. So I would really love to see personal trader stocks. That way, at least you can get some of the item that you've unlocked, if not the full trader amount. Maybe there's another system they could like implement that would let people, you know, buy X amount of stuff from the trader, guaranteed, rather than it being sold out and you're like, well, shit, now I've got to set 2 alarms on my phone, you know, one for 5 minutes before the reset so I can get to my PC, and then one, you know, as soon as the reset is happening so I can refresh the flea market, get my stuff, and then go back to whatever I was doing. So I would very much love to see that. This next suggestion I have, I've mentioned this before, but I don't remember like if I made a video about it or if it's like buried in some video somewhere, or if I only mentioned this on stream. But I would love to see colored lab key cards that drop not commonly, but somewhere between rare and common from bosses and raiders. However, the colored lab cards are damaged and they only have, you know, 5 uses at the most, and it can be anywhere from 1 use to 5 uses. Now, the reason why I would love to see this in the game is because like 99.9% of the player base are never going to get a red key card or a green card or a blue card, or like all these other lab cards nobody's ever going to get to use. And right now, unless you have all the cards going to labs, the only thing you're going to do is run around, maybe loot a few rare loot spots, kill a couple of raiders, and then leave. There's no other reason to stay. At least this way, a lot of the casual players and a lot of the people that only have a couple of hours to play every week will actually have a chance at collecting a full set of colored lab cards that they can use on labs a couple of times, and then, you know, they break and you can make a bit of money with it. They wouldn't be barterable. You can't sell these. If you get it, it's like bound to your character and you have to use it yourself. You can drop it to your friends or whatever, but it can't be sold on the flea market. I just think this would be really cool because, I mean, like the regular lab cards are so unbelievably rare, like the colored ones at least, that you basically have to win the lottery in order to find one. So I just thought that'd be a cool suggestion. Another thing as well, we would love to see more in-raid events and more dynamic boss/raider patrols and randomness. So I think what we mean by that is the bosses and the raiders and stuff will just like roam around the map, and they'll just go around in like patrols, and maybe they'll have like a VIP with them, which could be the scab boss, and you'll see them like walking somewhere like in, you know, a line or whatever in like a group, and then when you shoot at them they all scatter and they take cover and, you know, they try and defend the boss or whatever. But it could just be a case of, you know, not so that the bosses are just, you know, always in one place, but they could like patrol around the map, which would be pretty sweet. Being able to tilt your gun without canted sights, and also being able to look under like dovetails, because there's like a gap in like dovetail mounts. So we should definitely be able to like hold our gun, and then even if there isn't a canted sight on it and we're ADS, if you have like a high power scope, you should be able to turn the gun and then be able to like free look while you have the gun down, just so you can look around, rather than holding it up and then like swinging your mouse over and over to like watch an area. You could just turn it sideways and then just kind of watch for movement that way, because there's no reason why you can't turn your gun sideways. And I know you're like, oh, just put a canted mount on it with something shit and, you know, it doesn't matter, but you should just be able to like turn your gun and just be able to see. So I actually really like that suggestion. On to the next one. We've got healing teammates without having to drop meds. Now, I love this idea, but I think it would be even cooler if you're healing your teammate, you actually do it faster. Because if you think about it, if somebody else is doing like, you know, work on you, like they're fixing your arm or whatever, they're going to do it faster, and you should do it much slower because you're doing it by yourself. So there could even be like a buff for teammates working together to heal each other, and you'd get like a decent speed buff of like, maybe it happens like 30-40% faster or something. It'd be even more of a reason to play in a squad. Then moving on from that, we have pack mags without having your inventory open. You should be able to just sit there with your mag and like look around without being in your inventory, because you can't see shit when you're in your inventory. The only thing you can rely on is your hearing. So you should definitely be able to pack your mags without actually having to have your inventory screen open. It doesn't seem like something that would take that much work to do, and I would love to see that change be added to the game. Next thing, this kind of also loops back to the medication side of things, but just being able to, like, if you have your Saloa bound to 4, you should just be able to hold that button and it'll just keep healing you. And then it'll stop for like a little bit of a second, and it'll maybe move to another part of your body, and it'll just keep healing. So you don't have to just like keep pressing 4 every time it's finished. And maybe if you just like hold it down, it would be faster than like doing the heal, left clicking to cancel it, and then doing the heal again, left clicking to cancel it, because it's just fucking tedious to like min max it that way, you know what I mean? So I thought that'd be a cool idea. Also, combining meds in your stash to make full ones rather than just selling your screwed ones that you're never going to use. Maybe you could actually keep them, and you'd be able to actually make use of some of your worn out meds rather than just selling them and buying new ones. You should just be able to combine them. Not as a craft in the hideout, because that takes way too long. It should be something right click, refill, and then it takes it from the most damaged med supplies in your stash and then just fills them up. Or you might be able to craft something in your hideout that you can use to recharge your medication or something like that. I think that would actually be fucking sweet. So maybe you could craft something in your hideout that like more efficiently refills it rather than using your screwed ones. Next one, this well, I think a lot of people have said this idea, but I wanted to mention this myself anyway. Reduce the charges on keys. Having 100 charges on keys, it feels pointless. I think it's just like, it doesn't really make like that much sense, because a lot of people won't ever even open a room 100 times. Like marked room keys, you know, use them 25 times. Yeah, that's fair. But I think like every other key in the game should be like at most like 20 uses, because then at least there's an economy for keys and there's rarity to keys. Because at this point in the wipe, I can buy like any key that I want pretty much, you know, dirt cheap. Like a lot of the really good rooms on Shoreline are super cheap. The only ones that are even slightly expensive are the quest ones. And once you're finished with the quest key, I mean, it's valueless, you know what I mean? Like, because a lot of the quest rooms don't even have any good stuff in them. So I think something needs to be done about the charge on keys. Maybe you could have like a station in your hideout, like a key cutting station, where you could maybe replenish the uses on the key, or like cut another key if you had blanks or something once the key gets low enough. That could be cool to recharge the uses on the key, but I don't know if we're going to get something like that in the future. It could be like as part of like a hideout expansion. Next up, configurable healing priority list. How many times have you guys been in a raid where you have like, you know, you're almost dead, you've got like 3 bleeds, however you go to heal and it starts healing the bleed on your leg, but your chest is about to be blacked out, or your head's about to be blacked out? What we're suggesting here is that we can configure it so that no matter what, if your head is damaged or your chest is damaged, it will heal one of those first. And that would just be something you do in the settings, where you can set a list of priority heals where it'll go from head to chest to arm to leg in the order of priority that you want the most. So no matter what, no matter whether you have bleeds, no matter whether you have heavy bleeds, it will always prioritize healing up your chest first or healing up your head first, so that you don't get a blacked out head or a blacked out chest. I know you can press tab, you can open the interface, and you can do it that way, but I just think, you know, for like ease of access sake, because those are the only 2 limbs that you can't put back on from a surgery kit, And when you get a blacked out head or a blacked out chest, it basically means you're pretty likely to die that raid unless you don't run into anybody on the way to the extract. So I think that'd be pretty cool. Also, somebody made the suggestion of being able to set up a load pattern for mags. So you'd be able to do armor penetrating rounds, flesh damage rounds, armor penetrating rounds, flesh damage rounds, or whatever. And it would just like load it automatically for you. You know, you could like set up your mags in such a way that like it doesn't take you half an hour to load a 60 rounder with X ammo, X ammo, X ammo, X ammo, which would be really cool because I know a lot of people want to do stuff like that. But dude, unless you have some kind of dodgy macro setup, you're going to be sitting there for like half an hour, like setting up like 4 mags that way. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. Maybe some people do it and they have like an efficient way of doing it. But I just think being able to configure like a loadout for your mag for ammo order or whatever would be really sweet. And maybe it would encourage people to do some weird mixy-uppy stuff with their mags, I guess. It could lead to some kind of new meta. I don't know. Or maybe it'd be really annoying. I don't know. But those are all the suggestions that we have for today. Shout outs to the boys in Twitch chat and the girls. Thank you very much for your suggestions. I hope you guys enjoyed them. If you guys want to leave some suggestions of yourself in the comment section, please do. I might make a follow-up video on this where I'll include your suggestions as well, because God knows we could sit here for 24 hours talking about stuff we'd like to see in Tarkov'S. So lads, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below. Hit the old subscribe button. Check out all the socials linked down in the description. You guys know yourself at this point. TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, freaking Instagram, all this other bullshit. Go follow it all if you have it. I would appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out, my dudes.